Welcome back, everybody. It's Rama from Junk Journal Divas. Hello, my friends. Today is a very impromptu kind of video. I'm ahead of my March Diva Delight project, which I'm so excited about. And I'm trying to wait. I have a full week and I have nothing to do. So I'm like, I've got to do something. So botanical is always a good thing to do for me. Botanical, paper dolls. There's a couple of things that I just say like, okay, keep me occupied for a little bit. So this is what I'm going to do today. I love using my pressed flowers to make things. I do have some of these packages left in my shop. If anybody needs some and you're interested, you can check those out. I have a couple different colors. So I like to make, there's a lot of different things that I make with these actually. I do faux wax seals with them. I've done altered paper clips. So I'm just gonna get started and see where I go. I could also do, I have some specimen cards that are stamped and cut out. And I have a botanical box. I have these in there from a previous project. I love the way these turned out. So I made a little pocket out of the specimen card. Are these not so cute? I love them. And it just slides in there. It's another one that I did. These have so many layers on, embossing, glaze, and all kinds of stuff on here, on the cards. It's another bird. And then the dragonfly here. So I think maybe, I don't know, now that I'm looking at these, I'm thinking I really love them. Maybe I'll do something with flowers that is similar to this. So I grabbed a couple of things here. I grabbed some, this is watercolor paper that I embossed. So some greens here, different leaves. And it's nice and thick, so that if I want like a nice base to put a flower on. I also grabbed some of my book pages from when I did my rusty dyeing pages. So I've got some of these. And I'm just gonna kind of see where this leads. First thing, I had this idea, what if I make a frame for, because I usually would cut out the round pieces of paper and put my flowers on, and then I can take those and I can turn them into altered paper clips or just little dangles, whatever I want to do with them. So what I'm thinking, I'll just use one of these for an example here. I want it to be a little bit thicker. I'm just going to do a light layer of blue here just to put these pages together. Okay, so my idea is if I cut out the circles, and I can also use the circles, but if I cut these out, and then I can try to, oh, let me see. Let's make this shorter. Hopefully I didn't cut too much. No, okay. So then I'll do this with thicker, you know, something thicker, but I'd be able to frame it. And even if like this isn't exactly centered, I kind of like that. This one first. Of course, I will save these circles. And back to that same problem. I wasn't sure how far to put it down, but definitely not going to be centered, but it's okay. Like I said, I kind of like that. I kind of frame it like this. And once I have, you know, everything inked up, I think those will look kind of cool. Let's try some. I just wanted to see. Yeah, I might like them more if I just do regular book pages, so that there's more of a contrast in the color there. I'll save these pieces in case I have any other ideas. Because you know how this goes. You have one idea, and once you get going, it's just, you never know where it's going to go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and glue some of these together. I only want to use the area where the text is. And where's my scraper tool? Here we go. And I have, since I don't care if this is not permanent, I have these glue sticks that I got for my daughters for school. And so I have a whole box of them. And I don't, if you watch my videos, you'll notice I very rarely use glue stick unless it's just to temporarily hold something in place. And we'll do one more here. And now let's cut out our 2-inch circles, the base. Okay, got those edges off, and now I can do some circles here. And I'm going to save this. This will be fun to use for some mixed media stuff, which is coming up and what I'm so excited about. The other admin in Junk Journal Divas, they always laugh at me because I'm so impatient. I can't wait for things and I get so excited, you know, like they call me the cheerleader because I'm just so stupid excited about everything. Okay, that was kind of rough. That punch did not want to cooperate so much with me. Okay, so now I need to make some frames to go on these. Okay, so now I'm going to ink some of these up, and then we'll glue some flowers down. So let's get our circle bases, the bottom part, and start gluing down some of the flowers. Now I'm trying to get a good variety here because I do have the frames going around the edge. So I tried a couple flowers that are really large, you'll see, that cover pretty much the whole circle, but and I still like those, but I wanted to just kind of do a couple of different ones, some with smaller flowers, just to see which one I liked better. And one thing I'll say, I have a flower press and I've used it many times. But I also just, because one time I just picked way too many flowers and I had too many, I needed, a bigger flower press. So I just used a large book and I put some of my flowers between wax paper in the large book and really just leave them in there for a week and they're good to go. So you guys can do this, in the summer if you have some beautiful flowers. Yeah, just grab some and then you've got some to make these gorgeous embellishments anytime you want. And to store them, I do it very similar to the way they're packaged here. Now these are bought, these are purchased, and I do have some in my shop. But if I just pick them and do it from home, from my garden, I just put them between some wax paper sheets and then put them into a folder. And that's good to go. And now some of these don't lay perfectly flat. The middle part is a little bit raised, so I would have to just kind of go underneath there and add a little bit, like under the petals, and add a little more glue to get it to stick and just kind of gently press down. So now I have some of these greens and I'm going to add some of these to a couple of them. And then we'll do a small flower with these, kind of layer it up a little bit. I really love the bright colors. This is making me feel like, okay, maybe if I play with the bright colors, spring will come faster. So now let's put a little bit of Mod Podge on top of these. I did add just a little bit, a couple squirts of water to my glue so that it's more like I'm doing a decoupage. I wanted to just make sure it wasn't so sticky that it pulls the petals off of the flower. And I'm also using a soft brush here and just kind of, yeah, brushing it on, getting a good coat on there because I want it to seal everything. So I'm that's why I'm going from the center outward to make sure that it's getting, in between all of those petals and stuff so that it's sealed. Now you could also, after this dries, if you'd want to put a little bit more of a protective layer on, you could put an extra layer, or you could use a diamond glaze or glossy accents or something. So now the flowers are dry here, and I'm going to start putting on my frames. So I'm just kind of figuring out which frame I want to put on which flower piece. And then I'm just going to go ahead and glue these on. And I'm really liking the wonky circle that it's not completely centered. And I realized afterwards, I like it also because I decided to add grommets to these, so it gave me a place to put my grommet. But just in general, even to use it as is, I just like the look of it, that it's not perfectly centered, but that's totally preference. So I'm just kind of going around with my fingers and squeezing those edges together, and then kind of run my finger along the edge to get the excess glue that might ooze out. And these would be great as is, but like I said, you can turn them into all different kinds of things. So now I'm taking a little bit of distress paint, this gold paint, and I'm just going to go a little bit, add some little highlights to the flowers. So I'm just playing around with different places to paint and add some gold. Okay guys, this is what I've got so far. I'll just pick some of these up, different colors. And if you can see, I put a little bit of gold on the flowers. So they're all a little bit different here. So now I've got a little bit of the paint left over. Oop, I gotta find which one that I did already. Oh, okay, this one. Yeah, I'm just kind of rubbing my brush around the edge so it kind of makes it gold. And use some of this paint. So I'm just doing this. And they feel pretty fine. I mean, I've got one layer of Mod Podge on there, but if you're worried about it, you know, you could always go and put another layer on top of the whole thing if you would want. But you see, it's fine. And now I could use more circle punches, and I could turn this into an altered paper clip. I might put a little grommet here and put some dangles on. Maybe I'll try that with some after this dries. So yeah, like this is what I mean. I make the circles, but then from these little circles, and I just do circles because I've got the circle punch. But once you have the circles, squares, whatever it is that you want to use, then you can, you know, turn them into all different kinds of things. It's just kind of fun. I've done quite a few videos with flowers. I've done some where I covered them. I would put them down in sort of like a decoupage. I cover them with tea bags. I love that. And I've made some, like I said, the faux wax seals. Some of them I would put the flower on a book page, just like we did here. And then I would put the hot glue on top of that and press it down. And then I did some that it's just like the wax seal. There's no back to it, no book page back. So these are just things that I just love using them on projects, and it's fun when I send, you know, happy mail or something to a friend, and I can use one of my paper clips if I'm sending some pretty papers or something. So I just like them. One of those things I like to have in my stash. And every time I make them, they're slightly different because I use different, same, you know, the same construction, but just different papers or, you know, a little something different. Okay, so I am back. I'm still working on these guys, and I put some grommets in the ones over here. So I was thinking I could either, number one, it could be a dangle like this. I put a pin in, or I could still turn it into an altered paper clip so it could slide down like this, and I could have something like this, like some ribbons hanging off of the bottom. That's kind of what I'm thinking so far. So I have grommets in these 4. And I don't have any gold grommets, but I've got all these colors. So, but I kind of like the colors. You know, we're going into spring and I love color anyway. So let's put the rest of these in and see what they look like. I really love this one, that color, that blue, oh, just beautiful. See, I might not want to do every single one. This one's pretty plain looking, so I will do this. Let's see, do I want to do green, orange? I think I like the purple and yellow. I'm going to do the grommet down this way on this one. So I added it at the bottom where the skinny part is instead of where the fatter part of my wonky circle. Okay. I have my paper beads that I was just playing with, and they're sitting here, and I thought maybe I'll try some of these hanging off of my paper clips. So I'm just kind of seeing which colors I like together. I don't know, they look really great together though, so I think I'm gonna like this. Just pick out a few to try. Okay, since these are just going to be the way that they are, I am going to go over them because the back is just, you know, paper. I am going to go over with a little bit of, maybe I'll just use some matte medium on these two. So now I grab my jump rings and I'm going to go back to these other ones with the grommets, and I'm going to attach a paper bead with a jump ring going through the grommet so it will dangle a little bit. And I like this, so I'm going to go ahead and use some of my paper beads and attach to the rest of these. And now I used the back circle punch, so the 2-inch one. I made an extra circle punch, and I am just going to cut off the very tip where the grommet would go. And you are going to see this, although it's going to be in the back. So I'm just going to do a little stamping to add a little interest and go around the edges. We'll ink it up a little bit. And then I can start putting them together. So take one of my circles, and when you put the paper clip on, you want to do it so that the longer one is along the back. So I've got that put together. And then I am going to use some double-sided sticky tape to go over top of my paper clip, and it'll just kind of hold it into place. You can use regular tape if you don't have double-sided sticky tape. And then I am going to use some glue also, and then I can attach the two pieces together. And then I'll just go around the edges and kind of squeeze it and make sure it's really nice and glued together. So let's test it out and see what this is going to look like. And I like this. So we'll do some more, turn some more of them into paper clips. Made here my finished embellishments. So I have one clipped onto a paper to show. I was just taking photos for this video. And I love them. I think they turned out super cute. And I got to use some of my paper beads. I did add, you can see here, I added some little fiber pieces to hang also. And then I have the two that I just left as a little dangle. Put a clip on it, and I did cover the back of these with, you could use Mod Podge or anything that you want. I think I used some matte medium. Some of my paper beads are dangles, so it's a dangle on a dangle. So I added like this little bird on this one. And some of them are just the bead dangling. Here we've got blue, two other blue ones. So I've got a mushroom on this one and another bird on this one. Really hard, you know, with lighting to get good pictures and video when you've got metallic something. And like on this one, I love, like there's a little bit of metallic on those little pieces that I added at the bottom, and I just think it turned out so well. Let's see, I've got this yellow one. And then this one, this was on my desk, and I kind of got buried and I forgot about it. So I thought, let me just add some fibers to this one. So that's what I did. So I've got a green bead on this one and a little dangle with a bell on this one. I think I showed you all of them here. So now I just wanted to, let me move these aside. I wanted to show, these are some that I made with the faux wax seals. And like I said, I'll link all these videos in the video description if you want to try one of these methods. So you can see again, it was just the circle punch that I used. I did my paper clip the same way, except I didn't have to cut a little piece off for my grommet. And let me just hold a couple of these up here. These are really fun to make. And I think I've used all the ones that didn't have a back to it. It was just the hot glue, the faux wax seal with the flower in it. And see, this is one that I made that is a square. So anything that you have, if you have a punch that's a different shape, get creative and just have fun with it. This one I just did in not too long ago. I know some of them I used tea bags. I tried some different things, tissue paper. I tried some different methods to see which I would like better. And I didn't make that many of them, and this is all I have left. So and I just did the gold paint around the edges. I can tell that this one was covered with glossy accents. These I used tea bags on top of, and then some gold paint. That's just a little mini one. So I wanted to show these in case you wanted to try some of these also. And then as far as this, I really want to make some more of these, but I thought this is way too much for one video. So I'm thinking that I might try to make more of these, and I'm going to make my tag it's going to have flowers on. So I'm thinking more about that and how I want to put these together. So stay tuned for more fun, and thank you as always for joining me today.